Hello, happy Tarot Tuesday. It is your focus for the week tarot reading for the week of April 15th, 2018. So let's take a look at 3 cards to let you know what you can think about and focus on as you go throughout this coming week. Okay, so your first card that you got this week is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So remember, the Knight of Swords is kind of like the idea of extremes. On one hand, the Knight is a conqueror, someone who rushes forward, who goes into battle, and swords are all about your thoughts and your logic and your rational ideas, right? And rational reasoning, right? And so we kind of have this two sides of the extreme, someone who's rushing forward straight ahead, and then the other idea of let's think this through, let's be rational and logical. And since you got this card in reverse, I'm wondering if you are actually the opposite of both of those. So what that means is right in the middle of that spectrum, kind of not one way or the other. And I'm wondering if you have been feeling maybe a little directionless lately, or maybe a little unsure, like trying to follow your gut or trying to follow your intuition, but then kind of flip-flopping on that a little bit and not just charging ahead, even though you kind of felt like, well, this is what I want to do, or this is what I should do, right? So just give yourself a little compassion if you're in that state right now, and recognize maybe your brain and your heart are taking some time to figure things out. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that you're wasting time. It maybe just means that everything in you needs to kind of come to a consensus, right? Kind of have that joint between your rational and your rushing ahead sense. You might need to have that kind of joint agreement within yourself before you actually take action or make a decision. Okay, so don't worry, just give yourself some compassion and give yourself a little bit of time on this. Your second card that you got this week, interesting. It's the Ten of Swords, right? So upright, when we see it upright, you got it in reverse, it actually looks pretty scary. It looks cold. It looks a little bit violent because we see all these swords sticking into this person. But since you got the card upright, the thing that I love about this card for you for this week is all of these positive thoughts, right? So whereas this previous card, the Knight of Swords, the sword was kind of crossing the image, kind of negating, like I said, not this way, not that way, just kind of the opposite of it. In this sense, all of your swords are pointing upright, telling me that you do have access to some really positive, powerful thoughts and some really powerful thinking. So that is maybe what you can tap into as you're kind of working your way through this, what should I be doing, or how should I be feeling, or what should I be thinking. Really notice when something is positive and powerful and makes you think good things. Maybe it's even about setting up some routines for yourself, or kind of setting up a schedule or some kind of a structure that is really logical and laid out, almost like an outline. Maybe that's going to be something that really helps you notice those positive, powerful thoughts. And what I see here is that this feeling or this mood that you've been in is definitely at an end, and you don't have to think about it or worry about it anymore. That's what the 10 is all about, the end of a cycle, so that something new can start in its place. So just like I said on this one, as far as giving yourself some compassion and being gentle with yourself, don't go back and think, oh, why did I do that? I shouldn't have been that way. I should have done this. Don't beat yourself up or stab yourself in the back about what has already happened, what is already in the past. Just use this to say, okay, and this is where I am now. Let me gather my positive thoughts and look to see what the new cycle will bring for me. Your third card for this week is exactly, it just goes in perfect order. It's a Page of Swords, which, if you're counting in a regular deck of cards, the page comes right after the 10, so that makes perfect sense. We see this sword here pointing upright, and we see this person knowing and being sure and following the direction, and we know that the page is on that level or on that ladder of mastery up to the highest level, right? So this is just really good news for you. Maybe you haven't been sure what you were charging towards, or if you really should focus on moving ahead or thinking things through or being rational or logical. And now you've recognized the benefit of just holding on to those positive thoughts and letting the past be the past and letting it rest in peace. So now you can move forward and take this one direction that now you're finding and move with it, and know that you will have some problems along the way. You will learn some things. There will be some mistakes, which is totally normal. That's all part of the learning process, but that is helping you get that level of mastery in your own thoughts and your own rationality that you are seeking. So this is all good news. I'm excited for you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.